Just waiting for the clock. Charges as I got it. Okay, it's 5 o'clock. Call the meeting to order. Do you even have like the flag?
And pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Let's call it roll. I'm here. Herb, Haley. I can see you. Can you hear me? Herb?
Muted.
You must be muted.
Present.
No caller.
Carmen Gasparo.
Here.
Linda Johnson. Here. Rob Lucknow.
Here.
Charlie Mann.
Here.
Liz Waterfall.
No. Excuse.
Okay. Do we have any public comments? I see nodding.
Yes,
Okay.
real public comment.
Doug?
Doug Chaussee, I live at 5190 Hunt Club Road. And my topic today is branch collection, and especially the 50% reduction in the collecting days. I have a brief statement I want to read, and then petition signed by 120 residents requesting that the village go back to every month branching from the every other month. So I'm speaking on behalf of that group of residents, approximately 120, who signed this petition asking that branching go back to every month. It has been for years. Branch collection is an important quality of life service that we pay for, and a service which helps maintain clean and attractive properties in the village. Quality of life services are important to residents, but this cut is just another example of those services eroding. The budget increase and subsequent cut in dates were deeply concerning. Like, you know, how you can increase the budget by over 42% in 1 month and then cut the branching dates by 50% the next month. What changed in that month to precipitate that cut? I've asked that question a number of times over the last couple of months, and so far nobody's given me an answer as to what changed. Who asked for the cut in service? We'd really like to know that. And the needs of the entire community have been neglected by this cut. I don't think there was any proper input from the residents with reference to a cut in services. Out of all the people that I talked to over the last month, only a handful were aware of the cuts, and only one was aware that the budget had been increased. I think the village did a terrible job keeping us informed and failed to understand how important this service is. We deserve to have the service restored in order to keep our village clean and attractive. I submit this petition, cover letter, and supporting documents for your consideration. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
A little something. I've been in the village since 1961. And we have always had that service even back then, but it was with a shooted machine of 4 inches by 4 inches. It was more than 4 inches. It was thrown out for the pile, but then they just had to burn it afterwards. This is still a marvelous thing. We own the equipment that does it, so that there's no, I mean, it's always been in service. It's not in the way of anything. It does take up a little of the parking space in the back of the lighthouse, but I vote that we keep that thing as long as we can, because the machinery's there, the people are trained properly. They've got 30 years of work in and do it right. That's it.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank
Do you have any other public comment?
I'm the girl times.
Okay, have a seat. Anybody on Zoom? Do we have any public comment?
No.
No. Yes. Is that a yes?
No.
Okay. Oh, okay, no. All right. To the approval of the village board minutes from January 9.
I'll move to approve those minutes.
And I'll second that. I just found one error in Herb's name was spelled wrong on the date. So who moved? Charlie first, I second. Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? He's a little delayed there. Opposed?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes with the correction of Herb's name.
What section is that?
But they just transposed the letters in your last name. And then we have another set of meeting minutes on January 30th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from January 30th.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And I am abstaining. Motion passes. Okay, we're gonna jump right into new business with our zoning administrator report, Jeff Sanders.
Good evening, everyone. I think you probably have it in your packet. This is something that I will prepare monthly for both the Plan Commission and the Village Board. Basically, it's just an update of what might have happened in the past month. Any legal issues that might have popped up in the state, any court rulings, any new laws that can affect zoning and land use in the village. I'll always keep you up to date on where we are in terms of compliance actions. So you'll have a copy of that. And because this is the first one, I provided a summary of everything I reviewed and approved in 2024. So be happy to entertain any questions you might have.
No, looks good to me. Thank you.
Are these just recent court cases that may or may not affect us?
Correct. So every month, or generally every month, there's a court case or a new law that pops up that affects zoning and land use in the state. When they are rulings, when there are decisions that I believe might affect the village of Wind Point, I'll include them. For instance, if it's something to do with large scale factory farming, I'm probably not going to give an update in the village of Wind Point monthly report. The ones that I did include, however, are pertinent because they are tied to the fact that we just updated the zoning ordinance. We've updated all the application forms. And those three rulings basically say, when you have an ordinance, act consistent with that ordinance or you put yourself in potential legal jeopardy. When you have an application form, make sure the application form is completed in full and all that kind of stuff. So again, more updates, nothing critical in August and September of last year. There are always bills pending in the Senate and the legislature. So I will keep you apprised of those when they pertain to planning and zoning. But again, it'll just be a general update. If there's something that's really significant, I'll spend a little bit more time talking about it.
And I think this would be beneficial for the plan commission too.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. It'll be the same report for both.
All right. So is this all that we have from you? for now.
Is that all?
Well, no, I wasn't sure if we were going into more detail on any of this.
No,
So,
only if you wanted. Generally, I'll put everything in writing in the report, and unless you have questions about it, you probably won't hear me say anything regarding the reports. And I think we'll be talking about chapter 36 in a few minutes.
Okay. All right, thank you.
You're very
Okay,
welcome.
we'll move on to personnel, finance, and insurance. Trustee Lopnow.
Yeah, so PFIC met on January 27th, and we had two things that we brought forward to the board. Travis did a great job in adding these memorandums that surmise what happened at the meeting, give the key points in the background. So John's disposal, we approved, at least at committee level, the ability to extend that contract for another 4 years. They just increased us based on CPI, okay? So it's not arbitrary. It is tied to CPI, and it's been very competitive. So that's the first piece. And then the second one, second here, apologize. We also talked about and approved the financial management plan with Ehlers so that they could help start the village with going through and understanding financing possible and doing seminars with folks, including people in the village. So that's sort of a kickoff there. And that's a look at the long-term financial planning and health for the village, including major projects that if anybody's watching other than branching, that we have, water, issues that have popped up with the age of our water utility, that just being one example. So anyway, those are the two things we're bringing forward to the board for a vote. If anybody wants to make a motion, that'd be great.
I'll make a motion that we take action and approve the John's disposal contract for the Village of Wind Point as presented.
I'll second.
Was that Carmen?
Yep.
Carmen, yes.
Okay. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion passes for John's disposal. Do we have a motion on the contract for the 2025 financial management plan?
I'll make a motion to approve Ehlers.
Have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion passes. Parks Recreation Lighthouse. Short update, Trustee Waterfall, which I think you were going to get.
Yeah, so Trustee Waterfall couldn't make it, so she asked if I could provide a brief update from the committee. We are working with Jeff Sanders on the update to the Parks Wind Point Comprehensive Outdoor Recreation Plan. That is still ongoing, and the Parks Committee will keep on working on that at their committee meetings. The Lighthouse Keepers developed a quarterly plan for care and maintenance of the lighthouse, as well as 2025 events and activities. Events will be posted to the Lighthouse Facebook page, as well as expanded social media sites like Instagram and TikTok. Also, the Keepers and the Wind Point Community Club would like the new Wind Point website to have a volunteer corner to feature volunteer opportunities and stories. Those are the big updates from the Parks Committee.
Okay, thank you, Travis.
Yep.
Communications and community relations, a short update from Trustee Johnson.
The committee is currently working on a survey to go out to residents regarding the 4 Mile Road project with input and information. At our next meeting, we should finalize that and have it ready to go out in April.
Okay. Public Works, Utilities, and Environment Committee, short update from Trustee Bailey.
So, yes, so there are just two things that were discussed at the last PW a committee meeting, and one was the proposed maintenance agreement with the Village of Wind Point and Wind Meadows Corporation to provide services to maintain, upkeep the walking path. And it's being revised and will be rediscussed at the next committee meeting. Basically, it's a proposal for $3,000 a year to provide the cleaning of the path, which would involve vegetation, branches, snow removal. It's a bit of a moot point because the equipment that we had been using, and we've been doing this just on a gratis basis so far, actually is broken. And so that piece of equipment for snow removal, we've got to come to grips with whether that's going to be replaced or repaired. And so that's something that's being discussed. The second item was the Public Works supervisors obtained 4 bids for a graphical program to show the location of the utilities in the village. And though Scott was not available for this past meeting, we deferred until the next meeting to move that forward. But the objective is to have a finalist who Scott recommends that we would be able to sign the agreement for the use of their services to provide the graphical presentation of the utilities. And so that's something that is also still pending. So nothing was resolved until we meet again next month. And that's it.
Fabulous. Chief, we have the police report.
Just a few things. The extended speed study summary. So that's the speed signs, the data cloud. The data has now been sent to Prairie on a monthly basis because we have that over there. So during the school year, I plan to have that extended speed studies sent to them. I believe that the majority of the speed complaints come from some of the students. From the faculty there regarding students and some of the residents in the area because of the students. As you'll see in this speed study, that the average speed throughout the month of January was 27 miles an hour. So, and you'll see the graph there, the blue and the black. The blue is indicating the amount of vehicles that when seeing the sign, they begin to slow. So I think that the sign is doing its job, and we're collecting that data and then submitting it to the people that matter the most, I guess, just keeping everyone informed. The incident summary list, you'll see the complaints, the summary list is up. Traffic enforcement is up because of the state grants that we received. So you'll see an influx of more traffic, more OWI traffic grants in the later evening, and then speed and seatbelt during the day. We reached out to Johnson Foundation at Wingspread, and they are going to host the emergency management meeting or training event that we want to have the village board, some of the stakeholders, either from Wingspread, from Prairie School, and the director of emergency management for Racine County to go over 2 critical incidents and tabletop exercises. So we applied for, I guess it's an application process over there to get on the list there. They've approved it. We did have a tentative date that was scheduled, but because of some issues with people's schedules, we are looking at pushing this out to May. So we're in the process still of collecting the availability. Other than that, I got nothing else for you. Either an ambulance is called or summoned to a location.
Okay, it's my turn. So I was scrolling on Facebook the other night, and I came across the Racine County board meeting, which they put on Facebook, and I was watching it. And I happened to catch the Discover Wisconsin presentation, and I remember them presenting at one of the Racine County county communication, the meeting that I go to every couple of months. And this is, they're gonna contract with the county. And I think it might be beneficial for us to be aware of what's going on at these county board meetings. And I'd actually like to have Tony come to one of our meetings to present what's happening there. Because I think he's our district person,
Yes.
Tony Moran. So that wanted to get out of my head. If you haven't heard, we kind of have a star among us.
She's got storm.
A star.
Oh, star.
Yeah,
Yeah, lots of.
well, we received the Government Finance Officers Association Award for the Distinguished Budget Award because our budget that was submitted by Travis and who gathered all this information, put our budget all together and submitted it. It meets the highest standards of government budgeting. And I truly believe that we need to the last time we received this award, I believe Mike Haas was our village administrator. So thank you so much for all of your hard work and all of the support and everybody that added to this. I mean, everybody contributed, but you know what? You were the leader in it. You put it all together and all your hard work. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
And also thank you on the new website. Okay, I'm thrilled with it. I get my notifications. I hope everybody signed up for the website and the notifications. I get little texts and says, you know, this is I just hit it links me and says, okay, there's a winter storm warning. This is what we're going to do. I loved the fact they said, this is going to be our plowing. This is when we're going to do it. And this is why we're doing it this time. I thought that was great. Giving our residents the information on when we're doing it and why we're doing it. I think that's so important. So fabulous. And I hope everybody is signing up for it. What else do I have? I just want to make sure everybody knows tomorrow's the last day of early voting. So don't forget to vote. It's a primary. And one other thing, a former board member that was on the village board for, I believe, 8 years, Karen Van Loan passed away back in, in January. And I just want to acknowledge everything she contributed to the village. She really was just a wonderful woman. I didn't know her very well, and I didn't know her when she was a trustee. I knew her more on a personal level, and she was a wonderful woman. And just the joy to be able to talk to her. She came to our winter wreath lighting, and it was just really nice to just sit and talk to her. And so just keep her family in your thoughts. So, and that's all I have to say.
Did you want to do Liz's part for the community club?
Oh yeah, I
want
sure
this?
can. Because our next
You want
community
the-
club meeting, okay,
Yeah.
so this little, we did have a community club meeting. Oh, she typed it up.
No.
Okay, so we have a couple things. We had a community club meeting earlier in the month, and we do have another one, and let me just say what the date is here because it's coming up. On the 25th of February, here at the Lighthouse at 6:30 p.m. So mark your calendars. A couple of things that we have planned. Next event is going to be the Easter egg hunt. It was such a big success last year. We're going to do another one. It'll be April 12th. That's a Saturday from 11 to 12:30. Bunny here distributing eggs to children. So mark your calendars. We're planning on doing a volunteer appreciation day at the Lighthouse on April 26th. So, and that's the date, and it's still not in stone, but kind of circle that date. We plan on doing our Wags and Wheels Parade again to celebrate Independence Day on July 1st. We do not have the time established. We did it later in the afternoon last year, and that worked out really well. But once we have that information, we'll get out. And we have targeted August 24th for the village picnic on, I believe it's a Saturday or Sunday. Check. Is it Sunday? Let me look at my little calendar here. Yes, Sunday, August 24th from 1 to 4. And of having this is a possibility, we may end up having a jazz in the park type of music there too. Not sure about that yet. But so mark those dates on your calendar. And we are always looking for help with the Wind Point Community Club. You don't have to volunteer for every single event, but any help and any time that you can contribute would be greatly appreciated. And now that's all I have. Thank you.
Is community club going to be calendarized?
I hope so.
We can add it to the calendar.
I would love it if we did.
There's a new community events tab on there too, so we're working on that. So we can add a link
Yeah.
talking about the community club.
Travis also submitted, and now it should be on there for the vacation watches.
Yeah.
So now people can just go onto the website and fill out the information, and then it'll be emailed to us to generate a vacation watch rather than calling in. And
So I have a question, and I don't know if this is coming up in your administrator's report. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but only because you brought this up. Are you going to, in your next e-news, maybe put out these type of things that people can sign up for? Okay. So I'm done. So it's your turn.
Perfect. We'll go through the 2 quick points here. Review and possibly take action on resolution 25R01, a resolution to set the village schedule fees, deposits, and forfeitures. This was for the new updates on the zoning applications that Jeff has helped us put back together. So I had added those to the list in red. You'll see those additions on there. So there was a memorandum explaining, there's just an error from Trustee Johnson pointed out. It is $80, not $85. So that's the only error in that. But other than that, pretty straightforward. Any questions?
I kind of still have my same question that I originally asked. So we're jumping the fee, for the application fee from 40 to 80. So we're doubling it.
Mm-hmm.
And you said that was to go towards
Administrative costs and the
Administrative
committee
costs.
pay for the committee to meet as ARB. They've got 5 members,
Right.
but there's 3 members that get paid to be on there as well.
Yeah, I don't think it would probably ever accommodated for that. None of those fees. Can I ask a question?
Sure.
The conditional use permit for mobile service facilities. And then it's got.
It might be a Jeff question.
Is this a Jeff question?
I suspected Travis was going to say something like that.
I'm not sure. What was, it's like, if I have like, a mobile car detailing service, is that the type of thing we're talking about?
No, ma'am. So mobile service facilities in common language would be called cell towers.
Okay, you know, I was thinking, because I saw the co-location in there, so that's kind of what I was thinking. All right, so we're talking our tower here, out here?
Yes, ma'am. So there are 3
Okay.
categories of mobile service facilities in statutes. There's a new one, basically when somebody proposes to build a new tower. There's something called a class 1 co-location, and that's when there are significant substantive changes to an existing facility. And a class 2 co-location is when you're swapping out one antenna or adding a new antenna. The fees are established by state law, $3,000 for the first one, $3,000 for the second one, $500 for the third. The conditional use permit is just the mechanism by which to review it. But the reason there's a separate application form for a CUP for mobile service facilities, as opposed to all the other CUPs, is the state sets those specific application forms. So if we were to treat a mobile service facility the same way we treated, backyard chickens or something like that, we would not be able to charge what the state allows us to charge. I guarantee you, if the state allows you to collect $3,000, collect the $3,000, put it in the general fund, and buy something nice with it.
That was my only question.
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution number 25-R01 to update the schedule of fees to include the architectural review boards. These as well.
Also,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Okay, motion passes.
Then the last action for the chapter 36, review and possibly take action on ordinance number 25-02, repealing chapter 36 zoning of the municipal code and recreating and adopting a new chapter 36 zoning of the municipal code. You'll see the ordinance in front of you on page 43 out of 80. This is our last step, Jeff, right?
Mostly. So if the village board votes to adopt the ordinance this evening, there are two things that have to happen. First of all, the adoption of the ordinance has to be adopted by an adoption ordinance. I know how that sounds, but when you adopt a zoning ordinance, you have to do so with an adoption ordinance. So I've already prepared that. That'll be signed by the village president and by Travis. And then the final step is publication of a notice saying that the village of Wind Point has adopted a new ordinance. Legally, the moment you vote tonight, we can actually administer the ordinance. Those other two steps are more procedural than anything else. So if you vote to adopt it tonight, it is the official ordinance for the official zoning ordinance for the village of Wind Point.
Okay, do I have a motion?
I have a question. Is this the right time to bring up setbacks for wetlands? Go to the public?
The public hearing for
Public hearing.
plan commission on the 24th. Yeah.
Okay.
That's chapter 37. That would be the appropriate place for that discussion.
Okay, and that's on the 24th?
5:30.
So you need a
I should
motion
say
to
though,
adopt.
sorry, go ahead.
And Jeff,
If the plan commission and the village board modify the requirements in the current shoreline zoning ordinance, which are represented in the draft chapter 37 shoreline wetland floodplain, to reduce it from 100 to 75, then we would have to do an after the fact text amendment to the zoning ordinance because the zoning ordinance reflects that setback. But that would be a minor text amendment. It wouldn't have to go through the lengthy extended process.
Okay. So you guys, this is the zoning, not the shoreline.
right, so
Okay.
we adopted last month.
Right, this is like our last.
36, now we're adapting to adopt.
This,
I don't get that.
there's like all these steps, because then it had to be posted in the newspaper and.
Travis, I apologize. The motion, the ordinance before you tonight is the ordinance formally adopting chapter 36.
Okay, I'll make a motion to formally adopt chapter 36 from wherever it's on.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
Congratulations, you now have a new zoning ordinance.
Abstain? Motion passes. Thank you.
And then just last some updates. The general election is on April 1st for the village. The spring primary is on Tuesday, the 18th. Thank you to all the poll workers who signed up to work that. Plan Commission public hearing on chapter 37 is on a Monday, February 24th at 5:30 at the Lighthouse. The website has been live for quite a while now, so I hope you're all enjoying it and utilizing all the new forms like the vacation watch form and the online submission for complaints after hours. And those are public records if you are going to fill those out. Just a reminder that you have to have a signature to acknowledge that. Working on the final packets for the March committee meetings. The Finance, Personnel, Insurance Committee will meet on March 4th at 10. Communications, Community Relations will meet on the 4th as well at 2 p.m. Parks will meet on the 4th as well at 3 p.m. and Public Works will be meeting on the 6th at 1 p.m. Baxter and Woodman has reviewed the bid for the lighthouse painting, but they are not able to help us because they're not an approved contractor with the Historical Society. So we have a little bit of a setback on this. And we're waiting to hear back from the Wisconsin Historical Society on this. So we're working with Scott, and I are kind of working on getting contractors to outline the bid format for that, as it's a little bit more rigorous and picky due to the Historical Society guidelines. And then the last thing was there was a press release that announced the village's Distinguished Budget Presentation Award from GFOA and recognizes the village's dedication to meeting the high standards in governmental budgeting. So again, thank you to the Finance Committee and the Village Board and staff for helping put that together. And we have a great budget adopted. So thank you again for that recognition. So that is all I have.
Thank you. Okay, Rob.
All right, give me a,
you there?
yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I'm a little under the weather.
Do you want Linda to do it instead?
What? What?
You can sit and receive and file. Oh, I don't.
Linda, do you want to get some practice and fill in for me? Do you mind?
I move that we consent and receive and file items on utility financial reports, court reports, police reports, fire and EMS report, building permit report, and Baxter and Woodman report, all from January 2025.
A second.
Who is that? That's her. Is that
Herb.
her?
That was me.
You don't have your picture up. I can't see you waving your hand. All in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? Abstain. Okay, fair, receive and file. Okay, do we have any referrals here? No referrals?
Can we talk about the public comment at this point? No.
No, that's against Robert's Rules of Order. I go against your ordinance.
Has to be on the agenda for public.
It's not on the agenda.
Right, has to be on the agenda, but do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Aye.
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 Okay, meeting is adjourned at 5:37. Oh my God. That's like the quickest meeting I think we've done.